Cosmicism is a philosophical theory that emerged in the early 20th century, largely through the work of American science fiction and horror writer H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft's stories, such as the famous Call of Cthulhu, feature ancient and powerful alien entities that are beyond human comprehension. These entities are often indifferent or hostile to humanity, and their mere presence often drives ordinary people to madness. Lovecraft's protagonists are often confronted with the reality of their own insignificance and the futility of their efforts to resist the forces of the cosmos. Are these stories simply horror stories for entertainment? Or, do they have a deeper philosophical meaning? Some think that these tales, much like the writings of Sartre and Camus, are also philosophical explorations of the human condition in the face of cosmic indifference. As such, they have inspired philosophers, writers, musicians and others to build it into a philosophical theory. Cosmicism is seen as a reaction to the anthropocentric worldview that has dominated much of Western thought for centuries. Anthropocentrism is the belief that humans are the central and most important beings in the universe. Cosmicism, on the other hand, rejects this view and asserts that humans are just a tiny speck in the vast expanse of space and time. Cosmicism is based on the following core principles. First, the universe is vast and ancient and indifferent to humanity. The cosmos is billions of light years wide and contains billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars and planets. In comparison, humans are incredibly small and insignificant, a mere speck in comparison. Next, there is no benevolent God or gods. The cosmos is not governed by any benevolent force that cares about the well-being of humanity. Instead, the universe is a cold and uncaring place. The universe is ultimately indifferent to human suffering and joy. Furthermore, there is no evidence of any divine presence or purpose in the universe. Lastly, humanity is fundamentally powerless. Humans are at the mercy of forces beyond their control, such as natural disasters, cosmic events, and alien entities. Because of our powerless state, we are very limited in our ability to understand and control the universe. These tenets lead to a number of philosophical implications. For example, Cosmicism suggests that there is no inherent meaning or purpose in life. It also suggests that human morality is ultimately subjective and has no cosmic significance. Could we think of Cosmicism as a form of existentialism, nihilism, or other similar philosophies? Cosmicism can be seen as a more specific and extreme form of nihilism. It is based on the same premise as nihilism, but it takes this premise to its logical conclusion. Cosmicism suggests that the universe is not only meaningless, but that it is also hostile and malevolent to humanity. Cosmicism is closely related to existentialism, another philosophical movement that emphasizes the meaninglessness of existence. Existentialists argue that there is no inherent meaning in life and that each individual must create their own meaning. Cosmicism adds to this existentialist view by suggesting that even our own self-created meaning is ultimately insignificant in the face of the vast, indifferent and even hostile cosmos. This can lead to a sense of dread and anxiety, as we realize that our lives are ultimately meaningless and that we are at the mercy of forces far beyond our control. Absurdism, a philosophy that emphasizes the absurdity of the human condition in a world that is indifferent to human suffering and joy, can be seen as a complementary philosophy. Basically, cosmicists believe that humanity is ultimately doomed, while absurdists believe that we can find meaning and purpose in life despite the absurdity of our condition. Cosmicism has had a significant influence on contemporary popular culture, especially in science fiction, horror and music. Science fiction and horror writers such as Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov and Stephen King have explored themes of cosmicism in their works. Movies and TV series ranging from the big-budget Marvel Cinematic Universe to science fiction TV shows like The Expanse to low-budget horror adaptations of Lovecraft stories have used cosmic horror elements. In music, Lovecraftian themes have shown up in the lyrics of songs often. These themes are particularly popular with black metal artists such as Dark Throne and Emperor. In science, The dark forest solution to the Fermi paradox can be seen as a cosmicist in the sense that it suggests that the universe is a dangerous place and that humanity is ultimately vulnerable to the actions of other hostile intelligent beings. By broadcasting our presence to the universe, some scientists say we could be attracting the attention of hostile alien civilizations. Since Cosmicism is such a dark and nihilistic philosophy, can we find anything inspiring about it at all? Let's consider some ways that it could. First, through its influence in popular culture, it has had a profound impact on our understanding of the human condition. When we confront the vastness and indifference of the universe, it is difficult to avoid the feeling of insignificance. This can lead to a sense of existential dread, as we realize that our lives are ultimately meaningless in the grand scheme of things. However, Cosmicism can also be a liberating philosophy. When we realize that we are not the center of the universe, it frees us from the burden of having to find some grand meaning or purpose in life. We can simply live our lives as best we can, without worrying about whether or not our existence has any cosmic significance. Cosmicism may also have an impact on our understanding of morality. If the universe is ultimately indifferent to human suffering and joy, then what is the basis for morality? Cosmicism suggests that morality is ultimately subjective, and that there is no objective moral code. However, this should not imply it encourages us to act without regard for the consequences of our actions. Rather, Cosmicism suggests that we should develop our own moral code based on our own values and beliefs. We should also be aware that our morality is subjective, and that we should be respectful of the different moral codes of others. Some have asserted that Cosmicism can even inspire us to be more humble and compassionate. When we realize how small and insignificant we are in the vast universe, it can be difficult to take ourselves too seriously. This, they feel, can lead to a greater sense of humility and compassion for others instead of trying to enforce dogmatic rules on others. Once someone accepts that the universe is indifferent to human existence, they are free to create their own meaning and purpose. This can be a liberating and empowering realization or, conversely, fill one with nihilistic dread. Speaking of such dread, what are some criticisms of the philosophy of Cosmicism? The primary criticism is just that, it's a pessimistic and nihilistic philosophy. Therefore, it can lead one into apathy, alienation and depression. Even worse, since it rejects the idea that humanity has any inherent meaning or purpose, it can result in someone thinking other people don't have any value. Others, after taking a look at some of Lovecraft's less savory ideas, point out that it can be elitist. Some cosmicists believe that only a select few people are capable of understanding and appreciating the cosmic horror of the universe. This can lead to a sense of superiority and a dismissiveness of those who do not share their views. They argue that since humanity is ultimately insignificant, there is no point in trying to improve the world or to help others. Along the same lines, critics point out that such views have been used to justify dangerous ideas like eugenics and other forms of bigotry. Some in the scientific community have argued that Cosmicism is too focused on the negative aspects of the universe and that it does not adequately account for the beauty and wonder of the cosmos. So, what are my thoughts on the philosophy of Cosmicism? As a genre of science fiction, existential horror, I enjoy it. I like seeing these themes woven into stories instead of the more common tropes, like robots and humanoid aliens. As a philosophy, I agree with the critics, it's a pessimistic, unhealthy view of life that can lead someone into the worst aspects of apathy, alienation and depression. What do you think? Thanks for watching. Please give me a like if you enjoyed this video and please comment to let me know your thoughts on it. Also, check out our other videos about other philosophical topics.